Same as ever, this book is written by Morgan Housel, the author of Psychology of Money. Just imagine if we took you and put you 5000 years into the past, you would notice a vast difference between two eras. The development of technology, communication, food, clothing, shelter, and so on would be completely different. But you would also notice the same greed and fear among the people. You find the same envy, pride, and laziness. These are the things that were same 5000 years ago and remain the same today. They will also exist in the future. This video is gonna be the detailed book summary of first two chapters. Hanging by a thread, risk is what you don't see. Before that, let's continue the introduction. The author shares an interview with Warren Buffett conducted during a time when the global market was crippled. Warren was asked, "It's so bad right now. How is the economy going to recover from this?" Warren Buffett calmly replied, "Jim, do you know what the best-selling candy bar was in 1962? "No," said Jim. Warren continued, "It was Snickers." "Do you know what the best-selling candy bar is today?" "No," said Jim. "Snickers," Warren said. Then after a moment of silence, the interview ended. Naval Ravikant, an entrepreneur and investor, explained this concept in his own way. In 1000 parallel universe, you want to be wealthy in 999 of them. You don't want to be wealthy in 50 of them where you are just lucky. So, we want to factor luck out of it. I want to live in a way that if my life played out 1000 times, Naval would be successful 999 times. I am sure this book will be the answer for that. Chapter 1, Hanging by a Thread. If you know where we have been, you realize we have no idea where we are going. When Arthur was young, at the age of 17, he skied most of the time with his friends. He was on the Squaw Valley ski team. He and his friends skied 6 days a week, 10 months a year. This is the story of Arthur's two closest friends, Brendan Allen and Brian Richmond. During February 2001, Lake Tahoe was hit by a heavy snowstorm. Squaw Valley Ski Resort, located in Lake Tahoe, was where the author and his friend frequently went skiing. Due to the heavy weather, the regular ski areas were closed. The author and his friends decided to go free skiing on unstructured ground, a restricted area at the backside of Squaw Valley. They did not think about avalanche conditions at that time, they were just 17. When soft fluffy snow is covered by a hard snow on top, it creates avalanche conditions. It's like a thick layer of sand covered by a heavy layer of cement on top. If you ski in those areas, you are more likely to be buried under the snow. But despite the odds, in the morning they started skiing. It felt wonderful. But suddenly, the author was caught in small avalanche. It wasn't that big, more like a bit of fun to the author at that time. They completed skiing. Now, they need to go back to the Squaw Valley Resort. Since they were at the backside of the resort, they need to hitchhike, meaning they had to ask for a ride to get back. When they got back to the resort, Brendan and Brian decided to ski again. Somehow, the author didn't want to go back. Maybe it was because he didn't want to hitchhike again. So, they made a plan. The author decided to pick them up at the backside of the mountain with his truck, so they wouldn't need to hitchhike back. They separated. Brendan and Brian went skiing while the author waited for them. After 30 minutes, the author drove his truck to the pickup spot. He waited for so long, but they didn't arrive. He waited and waited, but no one came. He eventually went back to the hotel. Later, Brian's mom called the author. He told her everything and she panicked. They searched for the Brendan and Brian, but they couldn't find them. The next morning, the local rescue team found Brendan and Brian at the spot in an avalanche field where they were buried under 6 feet of snow. Brian's mom screamed. The author was heartbroken. It was really hard situation. The author had never imagined this outcome. He hadn't thought about the danger or the pros and cons of their decision. He said it was a complete fluke and random luck that he was alive now. He doesn't know why he refused to go back again. Maybe it was the small avalanche experience he had earlier. Yet, somehow, it became the most important decision of his life.